come, Father, and I stand behind this sacred altar. Give you honor and praise. Father, I pray that something is said or done that will uplift the bow down here. I pray, Father, that you will allow me to decrease, that you will increase. That you will get the glory and honor out of what will be said. Father, we pray that some heart will be touched and some lives will be changed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Let us turn to the book of Jonah. If you got your Bibles, remain standing. You're going to look at the book of Jonah. He is a minor prophet, and he's back in the back of the Old Testament between Obadiah and Micah, or right in between those two there. If you start at Malachi and go backwards, you soon can run into Brother Jonah. Malachi being the last book of the Old Testament, amen. And going backwards from there should be long before you run into Jonah Boulevard. Amen? Amen. The book of Jonah. Amen. Amen. I think y'all time to find it. That's not so much travel book as some of the other ones. Jonah. Yes. Book of Jonah. It's not but 3 chapters. It's not but 3 chapters in the book of Jonah. It's easy to skip by, but there's so much in there. Amen. There's so much in there. In the book of Jonah. Praise the Lord. Now, the word of the Lord came to Jonah. Chapter 1, verse 1. Now, the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah arose to flee to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. He went down to Joppa, found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare and went down unto it to go with them to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. Amen. You may be seated. Today we're going to be talking about a self-centered preacher. A self-centered preacher. Mama said, and so many preachers have preached this passage, preached on this passage. Mama said, a hard head will make a soft behind. Amen. Amen. Y'all ever heard that before? Yes. Yes. A hard head will make a soft behind.
I know that's right.
There are a lot of self-centered and hard-headed people in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, you look at Adam, he was hard-headed.
Sure.
Eve was hard-headed. They was all self-centered. Everything they did centered around them at the time. And so God told them what they could do and what they couldn't do, but they were so self-centered, they figured, well, it don't apply to me. And I'll go ahead and take care of it. Amen?
Amen.
And so you find Saul was self-centered. He was was so self-centered that he was jealous of a little boy. When David came up, ever since David fought Goliath, Saul was jealous of him. He was self-centered. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. And so the children of Israel was self-centered. They was hard-headed. They were self-centered. And because of their self-centeredness, it caused them to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. Are you with me?
Amen.
God called them half-hearted, called them rebellious and half-baked and stick-necked, and he even called them a backsliding heifer. I'm calling them back no heifer here. I'm saying God called them a backsliding heifer. And you know, it wasn't that they was self-centered people, but they was self-centered believers. These were believers of God, and Saul was a believer of God, and the children of Israel was believers. They all were believers, but they were self-centered. Amen?
Amen.
Now we would come to the problem of the church. There's hard-headed people in the church. There are self-centered people in the church. It's not a problem of the visitors and the sinners in the church that don't want to do what God do, but it's the self-centered Christians, the self-centered believers, the cardinal Christians. Amen. It's causing the problems in the church. Amen. And so they want to keep Christ and cause all the confusion. I remember they say even the deacons were self-centered. See, the deacons was called out of a mess to fix a mess. But now it's the deacons that bring the mess. In some church, I ain't talking about this church, though. I ain't talking about this church. They got to do His will.
My Lord.
They got to do it. Could it be that the reason why a lot of us are suffering today is because of our self-centeredness? Our hard-headedness. We got so much concern about me, that we fail to see the big picture that God has provided for us.
Amen.
And we are in that predicament
Amen.
because of our self-centeredness.
Amen.
Amen. It's because it could be the reason why we ain't got no money is because of we self-centered.
Amen.
It could be the reason why we can't pay our tithes is because of self-centered.
Amen.
Well, it could be the reason why we don't have our mate because our self-centered. That man left you because of your self-centeredness. That woman left you because of your self-centeredness.
Amen.
It could be. We're in the shape that we're in because of our self-centeredness. Amen. Amen. Jonah was a self-centered believer. Amen. He was self-centered. There are several reasons, and we find that, and first of all, the first one, you got to give Job some credit because he was called. Amen. You got to give Job some credit. He was called. Now they got some priests that was sent and some went. Amen. Some of them were called because somebody told them that you got a demeanor like a preacher. You look like, what's a preacher look like? You got a face like a preacher. And then somebody else called, their mama called them the preacher. And some of their wives called them the preacher. And that, but only a few are really sent and called by God. Jonah was called by God. Yeah. Amen? It says, now the word of God came to Jonah. Jonah was called. Amen?
Amen.
Now, and so the other thing that we find is that he was a good preacher.
Yeah.
He was a pretty good preacher. Matter of fact, he was somebody preacher. Anytime you can preach one sermon and the whole city gets saved, that's a pretty good preacher. And he could hoop too. It says that he cried and Nineveh was saved. He cried. He ran back and cried out to Nineveh. Yeah. He preached that thing. He hooped that thing. And listen what it says now. But there are several. He didn't want, when God called him and told him to go to Nineveh and preach that they might be saved, he got self-centered. See, that's what God puts us. A lot of times he gives us missions to go talk to that fellow down there on the corner. We get self-centered. Go talk to the sister down and invite her.
Yeah.
We get self-centered.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to do it. We're so stuck on ourselves. We don't want to do what God has called us to do.
Amen. That's true.
Listen to what he says now. And see, one thing, he didn't want to do it. And why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to do it? You see, you got to know some things about Nineveh. Nineveh was a city of the Assyrians, which was really run by Babylon. And so they were a very evil people. Mm-hmm. Amen. They were a mean, sinful people. They was evil. I mean, when they attacked your city, and see, God called it a great city. That great city, Nineveh. They had, their walls were 120 foot tall. They had 350 towers around the city. The walls, amen. The walls were so wide that you could take 3 chariots side by side and ride them on the wall.
Oh my goodness.
They were just that fortified. They had gardens around the walls. They was a rich nation with silver and gold all in the city. They was a rich nation. But Nineveh was a wicked nation. Amen. They were a wicked people. When Nineveh came in, and you knew there's going to be trouble. When the Assyrians came in, the first thing they did, they would fill up the wells with dirt so that the enemy wouldn't get no water. And in case you thought that you was going to rebuild the city after they left, they would burn all the trees and destroy all the homes. They burn up all the trees around there so that you can't get no more wood and rebuild your homes. You just be destitute. And what's so evil? They would take the babies and line them up in the street, and take the parents and line them up on the other side of the street, and then take their chariots and run over the babies while the parents watch. Then they take everybody, then they take everybody that was in the army and peel their skin off of them while they was alive, and take their skins and hang it up in their house for decorations. Then they would cut your head off and boil it till the meat come off of it, and take your skull and hang it up in their house for decorations. And you think they would be through. But they could after that, they would take a cross and sharpen the top of the cross like a point, and take you up and put the top of the cross up in your bowels and hang you up so that the bird can eat the rest of your carcass. Carcass. They were evil people. Evil people. And this is what they did to Jonah's people. And that's right. That's what they did to the children of Israel. That's what they did to the people of Jerusalem there. And so Jonah knew this, and Jonah did not want them saved. Amen. And I'm glad God didn't call me back in that time, because I tend to believe I might would have called a ship down to Tarshish too. I would have told them to hell with them folks down there. I ain't going down there saving them. Send them to hell, God. Send them. I ain't. But God's mercy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but
y'all understand what I'm saying? Because see, this is something else we got that Jonah knew. First of all, he knew how evil the people of Nineveh were. Second of all, he knew how merciful God was. He knew that just as sure as he go down there and share the word of God with them, they would repent. Just as sure as they repent, God was going to forgive them. It's true. If you sincerely repent, I don't care what your sin was.
Amen.
It's hard for us to get that bad.
Amen.
Amen. As hard and if you repent of your sin, God will forgive.
That's right. Amen.
He will forgive.
He will.
Amen. Amen. So he knew they were and so they were not. God wants to teach us. That's why he's using Jonah. God wants to teach us about the love of our enemy. He wants us to love our enemy.
That's a hard thing.
You see, he had to teach us how to do that. And he used Jonah to do it. Don't you know that when you love your enemy, you pile coals on top of their head?
Oh, yes. Oh,
It confuses the enemy when you love your enemy.
It sure does.
How are they going to continue to mistreat you and to talk about you and to do evil and you continue to love them? You got to have the love of God in you.
You have to. You have to. Sure.
They can't understand that. They can't understand how you keep on loving them and they keep on backbiting you.
Sure do. That's right.
How you keep on loving them, they keep stabbing you in the back.
That's right.
How you keep on loving them and they keep trying to take from you. How you keep on loving them? It's the love of God.
It's the love of God. It has to. That's right.
Some say it's the God in me
Oh, yeah.
that enables me to love you when you
Oh,
do me wrong.
amen. Amen. Sure.
He knew that God
Right.
was merciful.
Come on. That's right.
But you see, knowing these, he still was hard-headed. He still was self-centered. He wasn't thinking about the thousands of people that was in Nineveh, but he was thinking about Brother Jonah. And see, here's what he said now to himself. Now I know that if I go down to Nineveh, they gonna kill me. They gonna peel my skin off. They gonna ball my skull. They gonna stick a cross up me. I don't want to go to Nineveh. Amen.
Amen.
And some people think that about the church today. They won't go to church because the church folks don't crucify them.
They do. They do. They feel that way.
People need love. They need some comfort. And they come into church and the first thing the church do is criticize. First thing the church folks, we talk about. That's why they don't want to come in and they don't feel love.
That's true.
Jonah did not want to go to Nineveh. So what did he do? He left and tried to separate himself from God. He don't want no part of it. So he called a boat.
My God.
He went. This is what it says now. He arose and flee from Tarshish
Yes.
and the presence of God.
Yes.
And he went down to Joppa. See, let me show you something. See, when you go against God, you're going down.
Oh, yeah.
You're going down when you sin. Will, don't you know that's a sin? Sin will bring you down.
Sure will. It will. Amen. It will.
Y'all see what he did? Look at verse 3. He went down to Joppa. And then he went down into the ship. And then he went down into the ship. You see, everything he did was down while he was running from God. It's going to cost you. And look what it said. He had to pay to get on that ship. See, he had to pay. Sin costs.
Oh, yeah.
Sin costs you
yeah.
something. It costs you something. Sin, you can't sin for free.
Come on.
Sin will cost you something. You ask that man, you ask that man that had that outside affair and lost his wife, he'll tell you sin will cost you.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You ask that young girl that had a baby out of wedlock while she was a teenager, she'll tell you sin will cost you.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You ask the thief who's in prison right now for robbing the bank, he'll tell you sin will cost you. Ask the homosexual who's dying from AIDS right now. He'll tell you that sin will cost you. Amen, somebody.
Amen. Amen.
The wages of sin is death.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
So God, even in the midst of it, God has a plan.
Oh, yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey! Young people, don't depend on your plan A. See, your plan A is financed by your plan B. Amen.
Amen.
So you better have a double major.
Amen.
You better have a backup plan. And so this is what happened. This is what happened. You see, Jonah decided that he gonna run from God. Amen. See, a lot of Christians are running from God.
Amen.
They get self-centered and decide they're gonna run from God. They get self-centered because they think that they know more than God.
Amen.
How you gonna know more than God made you?
Come.
Amen. And how you gonna tell God how your gender is and he know more about your gender than you do?
Come on.
Help me somebody.
Come on.
The right ones ain't here today.
Amen.
The right ones ain't here today.
Amen.
And so Jonah got on the boat
Come on.
and was headed down to Joppa.
Come on.
Now, as he leaves, see, that's what's wrong with, I have to keep telling you about them so y'all won't go the way that they go. And many of us left here now. But I got to warn you, see, that's why the others aren't here. They on their way to Joppa.
Come on.
They figure the word is going on, so they don't want to hang around where the word is going. They want to go where they're entertained. There was some entertainment down there in Joppa. So he wanted to go where Joppa was. And let me tell you, they started out, everything was fine.
Amen.
Oh yeah, the seas were calm, the winds was nice, and it was a nice weather. And so Jonah got on the boat and went down to the bottom of the ship and decided that he was going to take a nap because it was so calm, it was so collected, and the breeze was blowing, and the ship was really like this here. And it was just rocking in the ship. And next thing you know, he went down to the bottom of the ship and decided that he would take him a nap. The next thing you know, just when you think everything's going real smooth, all of a sudden it'll hit. And then God sent something to bring you back to him. Because you think you got away, but you won't get away. You might run, but you can't hide. You might think you got away, but you didn't. You didn't get away with it. You didn't get away with it. So what happened? God called, and you know what? This is something else. You know, God, everything obeys God but Jonah.
Come on.
God told the wind to blow. The wind obeyed God. But Jonah didn't obey God. God told the waters to rise up on this side of the ship, the other side of the ship, and they obeyed God. But Jonah wouldn't obey God. And it got so tempestuous that the ship began to reel and rock like a drunken man on Saturday night. And the ship began to bow and to listen. The sailors got scared and they started throwing stuff overboard to make the ship light, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. But this is what it said. Every man called on his God. But it didn't change nothing. See, don't you know that there are other gods out there, but they ain't got no power.
Amen.
Other gods don't have no power. Only God got power. Be God. And so they got Jonah and they woke him up and they said, man, now wait a minute. Say everybody that call on their God ain't nothing happening here. So whose God is your God? Why are you like? Jonah told him, he said, I know what the problem is. I know. He said, who's your? Well, my God is the God of Isaac, Abraham, Jacob. And I want you to know that he's the living God. He said, well, you done something. Come on, you gonna find out. He said, how we gonna fix this mess you done got us in? Because we know you the cause of it. And so Jonah said, look, what I need you to do to save your life, first thing, I've had enough, I'm scared. Throw me overboard. They said, Jonah, you crazy. Throw me overboard. If you want this storm to cease, the best thing for you to do is to throw me overboard. See, now that's where the problem is. In the church, some of the churches, they're reeling and rocking, and there's so much turmoil in the church, but they're afraid to throw the Jonah overboard. They're afraid to throw the troublemaker overboard. They threw Jonah overboard.
My God.
Jonah hit the water. And as soon as Jonah hit the water, the storm ceased. Amen? The storm ceased. And Brother Jonah hit the water. And he began to sink down. He tried to tread water for a little while, but he's out there on that ocean. He couldn't drink all that water. So the best thing he could do was swim. And Jonah tried to swim for a long time. And next thing you know, he gave up and started to seek. But little did he know that God had another obedient being to come. And God caused a great fish. Some call it a whale. I'm going to call it a whale today. So he called the whale. He told him, go pick up my child. And so he went, and as Jonah gave up and he started to sink down and down and down to the bottom, the whale picked him up, and the whale swallowed him. That great fish, it swallowed Jonah. And at this point, Jonah was in the belly of the whale. And I find here that in the belly of the whale, Jonah was found to have what we call a whale belly experience. If I ever had a whale belly experience, I want you to know you're never the same when you have a whale belly experience. There are some things that go on in a whale belly experience that you can't get nowhere else. Yeah, you might have built a real cushiony life, but until you have the whale belly experience, you can really call on God. And see, down in the bottom of the ocean, in that whale's belly, Jonah had a whale belly experience. In the whale's belly, there is darkness. It was dark in the whale belly, and Jonah couldn't see nobody. See, sometimes God will cause you to go through a whale belly experience just to get you by yourself. When you by yourself, God has your attention. I find that in the whale belly experience, Jonah prayed, and he really prayed. God had his undivided attention in the whale belly. He had his undivided attention, and Jonah could really talk to God in his whale belly experience. God ever take you through a whale belly experience where you can fall on your knees and talk to God? He caused him to have a whale belly experience. Sometimes I had whale belly experiences when I've done all that I can do, and I turn and I want to find God. I turn to my right and I can't find him. I turn to my back and I can't find him. I turn to my left and I can't find him. But all I need to do is to look up from where I am to the hills and my help, and I can find God. As Jonah looked up, when he finally looked up, he found the God that sent him in the first place. And Jonah, in his whale belly experience, let me tell you something. In a whale belly experience, you can find the mercies of God. You can find the mercies of God in a whale belly experience. And he called on the living God from that whale belly. He brought him out of the whale belly experience. And that big whale, he took him and he spit it up on the dry land. Do I have a witness here? And as Jonah went on the dry land, Jonah now had a change of mind. You understand that after you come out of your whale belly experience, you can have a changed mind. You have a changed mind. When God has brought you through something, you have a changed mind. You got a different way of looking at things. You got a different way of talking to people. You got a different outlook on life. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens after you come out of a whale belly experience. Jonah come out. How do you know he did? Come out with a new outlook. How do you know he came out with a different way of thinking? Well, it says that Nineveh, that great city of Nineveh, was a distance of about 3 days. You can't get there driving no car. He didn't have no car to drive. He didn't have no bull to ride, no donkey to ride, no chariot to drive. He had to walk. 3 days it was away from where he was spit up on the land. The Bible tells us that. And so then I find here that word, when he spit him up from the belly of the well, Nineveh was 3 days away. And that great city, 3 days away. And it says, after 1 day, Jonah entered the city. Now, how did he get there in 1 day? When he hit ground, he hit the ground running. When God took us through a well-bedded experience, I tell you, we ought to be ready to go. He didn't have to say, Lord, here I am, send me. He said, Lord, you catch up with me when you get a chance. Because I'm heading to Nineveh. Jonah went to Nineveh, and he cried to Nineveh. He preached to Nineveh a 30-day sermon. He said, now here in 30 days, God is going to destroy this nation. If y'all don't repent, God's going to destroy you. He's going to destroy everything in this nation. But the people heard no. They heard it. They heard it. As Jonah preached the word, they repented of their sins. The king repented. The peasants repented. The lawyers repented. The nobles repented. Everybody in the whole nation repented. They had a fast and they repented to God. And what happened? If they truly repent, God will forgive.
Amen. Amen.
And He saved that whole city.
Amen.
God will
Yes, He will.
forgive
Amen.
if we will repent. Go to church and open. I want you to know
Amen.
there's no sin
There's no sin.
so bad
Oh, my
that God will
God.
forgive.
Hey, hallelujah.
Amen?
Amen.
You understand?
Yes. While you had time.
Don't you trust Him today? You might want to rededicate your life. You might want to give family for baptism. Come up in whatever. I want you to know that there is a God waiting for you.
I like to rededicate my life to
Amen.
God.
Praise the
Yes.
Lord. Yes.
Take care of you.
Amen.
Yes, Lord. Come to Jesus while you have time.
Amen. Amen. The church may be seated. Sister Jones, as you stand, please.
Amen.
Amen. I thank God for you and for yours.
Long journey. I've been through a lot, but it made me